Hello, this is Donald93. I will be doing a quick review for the American Tier 1 T1 Cunningham light tank. Let's get to the history of this tank. This tank, it was a prototype tank which saw very limited production. This tank was developed in 1922 and was in development up to 1928 still. Up to 1934, this tank was still being tested, but it was never ever mass-produced. A person that went by the name of James Cunningham, he owned James Cunningham Son and Company, which was located in Rochester, New York. In this tank, it never ever left the prototype stage. This was technically a first ever made American tank that was more for research purposes. From what the Americans learned from the T1 Cunningham, it went into future American tank designs to improve them. The two variants that are almost the exact same but have some slight differences between them would be the ornament and the armor. That's it. The two variants that were made were the T1E2 Cunningham and the T1E4 Cunningham. There is one known T1 Cunningham left in the world. It is located in the Aberdeen Proving Ground, located in Maryland in the United States of America. The stats for this tank, when it's fully upgraded, it will have 115 hit points. The load limit will be 8.3 for the maximum ton. Load, my current setup offers me 7.56 tons. The top horsepower will be 132. The horsepower to ton ratio for my setup, it is 17.6 horsepower to 1 ton, which is pretty good for a light tank. The max speed, it is 41 kilometers. The whole traverse, it is 38 degrees. The turret traverse, it is 35 for the upgraded turret. With the upgraded turret, it's just a minor decrease in turret traverse. The 35 turret traverse degrees, it could be better, it could be worse. The whole armor is just terrible at 10 millimeters of armor all around. Anything will pen you with these. The maximum view range, it is 280. You can increase this by using mod equipment and perks. The maximum signal range is 265 meters. This tank, as it's a tier 1, it will see tier 1 to 2 matchmaking. The way how I play this tank, I play this as a frontline tank or a support tank. Sometimes even both, as a frontline and as a support tank when it is needed at times. Before I get to talk about the pros and cons for this tank, from playing this tank this week, I discovered that the T1 tank and tanks like it with the engine in the front have a higher chance of being set on fire. Tanks that have a engine in the rear have less of a chance to be set on fire though from the front. Quite logical there. The pros for this tank, it have a good engine and a top speed. It have a good selection of semi-automatic guns. The semi-automatic guns have a good amount of burst damage from their guns. You can do between 100 to up to 200 damage in a single burst. This is pretty good when you're facing tier 1 and 2s, which doesn't have a lot of hit points. The cons for this tank. You have bad armor, poor pen, not that good gun depression, it's only -7 degrees down, and the gun elevation is okay, it's at 22 degrees up. The 20mm gun, it have a longer reload than the other automatic guns on this tank. This tank, if it does get into the wrong place at the wrong time, it can die quickly. Let's get to the research for this tank. To research the T2 medium, you'll have to research the 37mm M1924. To research the M2 light, you have to research the T1 Cunningham top turret. To research the T18 and the T57, you have to research the top radio on this tank. The researching for the modules on this tank. Get the top tracks for the best load limit and turret traverse. The top engine for more horsepower, the radio for better signal range, the turret for better view range, and the increased hit points. The radio is very important for a lot of light tanks too. You can see past your view range and support your tanks past your view range. This is important when you're supporting tanks at long distances. The guns, this tank have two play styles when it comes to the guns. All of them are almost the exact same. The 37mm guns, they're almost all the same though, but they have slight differences between all of them. The difference between them is the magazine loaded guns have slight different penetration and accuracy. That's it. The stock 37mm gun have worse pen and accuracy, but I have a good rate of fire though. Pretty much all these 37mm are all the same though. From using the 37mm gun, I find even if I aim fully, the rounds don't actually hit their target. They go anywhere they want to, so just be careful when you're using the 37mm semi-automatic gun at a distance. You will get most of your hits if you're up close and personal. All these 37mm guns use AP, APCR, and high explosive. The last gun on this tank, it is a 20mm gun. This is pretty much a machine gun, which have decent pen with good damage output, 12 damage per shell, and you have 15 rounds in it. The two guns have more than enough pen to pen T1 and 2 though, but they will both have problems penetrating the tier 2 tank that have a good amount of armor though. Before I get to the replay, I have to mention consumables and equipment. The consumables I find, which is a standard setup for me, it is to have a first aid kit, a repair kit, and a fire extinguisher. The equipment, which makes this tank a little bit better, it is vents. But you can actually have a, if you determine how you play this tank, you can have the vent, camera net, binocular telescopes, coated optics, and enhanced gun length drive. To just pick whatever equipment to make this tank better though. I use a mix of AP and HE when it comes to using this tank. I have two replays to show you how I used the 20mm gun and the Browning 37mm Browning semi-automatic gun. Let's get to those replays now. This replay, I am using the 20mm Husqvarna semi-automatic gun. This gun is, if you do see, when you do see T1s with it, most of them have this gun on it. Because for mainly two reasons what I think. The two reasons are, one, it's a easier gun to control at distances and getting your bursts. It does suffer some pen problems, but the pen is not that much worse than the Browning 37 semi-automatic gun. In the right hand at a distance, you can actually snipe with this thing and take vehicles overseas. Any vehicles in the open like that medium one, he got torn to pieces. In the right hands, whether medium to long ranges and sometimes even close, this is actually quite a deadly weapon to use. On the T1 though, it's even more deadly against other T1 Cunninghams, because all your shots are going to pen with ease. Right now here I'm just doing nothing except checking map out. I finally, after surveying the map, seeing what I could hit, and looking at what is left on the team, I chose to do something that is smart, to scout for the people on the hill, and why not just go in the open field, use the cover, and rack up more kills and damage. That's what I was thinking at this time. Oh, how do you do, medium one? Oh, you're having a bad day. I know that feeling. Here, I'm trying to use the medium one as cover to get out of the other enemy T1 there fire. Fortunately, the people on the northern side of the map are keeping that T1 busy. Right now I'm thinking, do I go for the T1 or the people on the hill though? Thinking that my team have that T1 busy. I went down to went to the side of the map and tried to push hill. I was just out checking to making sure that the T1 was taken care of. I managed to set him on fire. I hit his front. The T1 Cunningham can be set on fire pretty easily if you shoot at the front plate where the engine is. This is unfortunately a common weakness that a lot of front mount engine tanks does have at times. That's little Renault. He took a shot on me. With that T1 taken care of, I threw some rounds at him to scare him off a bit. Maybe it was just me thinking that at the time, or it was just the Renault C. There were 3 other tanks pushing to the hill, with the other tanks on the hill there still. This is a pretty good gun once you get used to how to use it. It's the more practical gun to use besides the 37 Browning semi-automatic gun here. Here I almost got myself got myself a kill here, but it was rather a very close one-on-one match, as you will see. He have I he have 5 hit points left. I almost killed him though. Trying to get all of your rounds to hit the target is rather quite important, because anyone that knows the common problem with autoloaders or magazine-fed guns, if one of your rounds do not hit, you can be in trouble. My team is going to kill the medium one. He's a one-shot kill. I did quite well there. In this replay, I did close to 400 damage. The next replay that is going to be shown, I will use the Browning 37mm semi-automatic gun. This is a gun that you have to get used to if you plan to use it though. But the 20mm gun is more of the preferred gun on the T1 Cunningham. But the Browning 37mm gun is still good to use. Let's get to that replay now. This replay, I'm using the 37mm semi-automatic Browning gun on it. This is a good gun when it actually chooses to work. The one problem that I have with this tank gun, it's short range, which is not a major issue though, but the gun have a mind of its own. At times when I fully aim and take my time to take precise shots at times, the gun chooses to give me some attitude and say, no, your rounds are going somewhere else today, sonny boy. So I try to get my gun aiming circle within where the tank is and hope all of my rounds hit and do damage for the tank. When the gun do choose to behave itself properly, this gun can pump out the damage when it's actually up close and personal. At distance, you're not going to hit anything. You have better luck with the 20mm gun on this. The medium one, if the medium one had the top gun on it and using HE, that is just bad for you, because the medium one top gun, if it uses HE, it can technically one-shot most tier 1s in a single hit. So just something for you to think about when you do face these medium ones. Just try to eliminate them if you can. There are things that, if used properly, can be quite overpowered in tier 1. But then again, all tanks in tier 1 can be killed easily. Now my gun is somewhat behaving properly. This tank gun is best to be used within less than 100 meters or so to get most of your rounds to hit at times. Anything more than 100 meters, and you better pray that your rounds do hit. By now, the team is feeling the pressure in the middle. The red team, or would be purple team, to people that are colorblind, would see that the enemy team, knowing what we have here, trying to push in the middle. At this range, 26 meters, I can't miss whatsoever. Right now, I just was watching to see what was around me. Right now, this T1 is actually going to kill me. He also showed another weakness, that the T1 Cunningham can be ammo racked quite easily from the side here. But that's not going to be a major problem at all, because at this tier, you're going to be killed quickly anyways. From this point forward, my usefulness to the team comes to an end. And I lost this match. I did around 400 damage, so this replay show you how good the 37mm Browning semi-automatic gun is if it's used properly. Let's get to the garage now. Now that we are back in the garage, let's do a quick summary for the American T1 Cunningham. The tank, I actually like this tank. The tank have a good gun. It's quite fast and can do quite a lot of damage with the gun it does have. The only thing that I don't like about this tank is just all of the weaknesses it does have, and no armor whatsoever. With the added cons on top of this tank as well. Once you get around all the disadvantages and gotten used to them, this tank is quite a good tier 1 to have. I would recommend this tier 1 to anyone that would like to have a faster tier 1 with a good gun and a good speed. I hope this review on the T1 Cunningham have educated you on how to destroy, operate, and use the T1 Cunningham effectively. If you like my videos, do subscribe to them.